what are some of the issues that, in the last 2 years, getting beyond history, but you gave them a chance to fix it? What are the more current issues that make you think that they haven't made the progress that you need?
Well, I think large part of it is the board. And Ms. Lopez can, I'm sure, attest to this. For whatever reason, there are factions. I don't expect that board to agree 100% of the time. The legislature doesn't do that. But for the most part, we do it in a professional manner. And I've seen when Ms. Lopez is testifying before the Oversight Committee, some of her own members heckle her, and vice versa. They won't sit next to each other. So I've always said BexarMet employees do a great job. Unfortunately, it's that upper management and their members on that board that can't seem to put aside their differences.
They're all elected from districts, from different territories.
Correct.
And some of them are not even conjoined. I mean, they're separate islands.
Exactly. Well, you have the Stone Oak area, which is...
It's just kind of like some school boards where each member has a high school and they're always just fighting sometimes more for their little territory than for the common good. Is that the dynamic you see going on?
Well, and it's a, I guess, not an easy concept to live with, Being an educator and always promoting, democracy and fairness and all of this. But when you get down to day-to-day working with people from different backgrounds, we're 7 from totally different backgrounds. Now there's 2 teachers, on myself and another colleague that in the same profession. But we are serving with people that have been elected by their communities. And I guess the good thing, the positive thing is that they have represented their district well. Now, my take on this, I have a passion now that I've discovered the water industry, that this is a regional issue, that we have to have an open mind and to see the vision, forward, what impact do our decisions have on the water industry, on our neighbors. I call, our circle of friends, the people outside the Bexar County, there are ratepayers, there are constituents as well. What impact is that going to have on them, on the people down the river, downstream? And we have a big responsibility, not only, at least in my case, I have no ambitions of, it's a stepping stone for another office or not. I'm very passionately aware
I wonder
of
about how functioning of a democracy it really is. Several years ago, we had a prominent local PR person who did work for you, indicted and pled guilty to trying to influence the board, apparently so that he could keep his contract. It's T.J. Conley. And I mean, if one contractor with you can believe that he can have an impact on how the election is going to turn out, how much of a healthy, functioning democracy is this?
Well, and I don't think we're an exception. Like you said a while ago, that it's a low voter turnout. We don't spend too much money on it, and things like that. But we have been an exception. We have. It's like a fight with David and Goliath. There are some alliances that have been formed that overwhelming to the little man. Like I say, I'm just representing my neighbors, and I've worked with organizations that try to help my neighbors pay their utility bill. The economy nowadays, and that's where we are. Yes, we did have that, but that was in the past. And we keep being reminded of it over and over and over again. It does not exist anymore.
When it comes to water in San Antonio, people have memories.
Oh, yes. I read a book on Brackenridge.
George Brackenridge. It's a fascinating book.
And Lacoste.
Yes, I know it. What is your reaction to the sort of structural problem of doing this at such low turnouts?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, there's a saying, Rick, whiskey is for drinking, water is for fighting, and so she's right about that from a state perspective as well. But I also, too, represent the largest number of BexarMet ratepayers than any other legislator in Texas, and I'm trying to do the same thing, which is represent my constituents. And it's not just the fact that they turn on their faucet and they're getting water. They don't necessarily understand the major problems that are beyond that at at the financial level, the management perspective, and that's where we have to come in and intervene and represent our constituents as well. So it's not just them turning on their water, it's will they be able to turn on their water in a year, 2 years down the road.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Well,
Thank
could
you.
I respond to that?
Very quickly.
Well, you know, in the 66 years of the existence of BexarMet, the water has never stopped running. The quality of water has never been inferior. And to prove it, you know, TCEQ, the regulatory agency, have awarded us certificates of achievement of high quality water. We have never turned off our water for our constituents and our users.
I'm afraid they're turning off my water. Thanks a lot.